Yo, yo.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Hi,
up?
us. So pleased to have you here. So, can I have you guys introduce yourself, starting with?
My name is Spontaneous Monk,
Yes.
aka Adim Prot.
The guy behind all the magic, yeah?
The music side of things, not a rapper. Not a rapper.
Not a rapper yet. We don't get it. We don't get it.
And we have...
It's Pastor Zen.
Alright, I'm glad to have you here. So,
you for
we're
having
gonna jump straight into it.
Let's do it.
So you guys have an album and it's called Zen and Monk. Can you please tell me the idea behind it? Why Zen and Monk?
You want to say something?
It's a simple one, isn't it?
Kinda
Pastor
is.
Zen
Yeah,
and Spontaneous Monk
Yeah.
makes Zen and Monk,
right.
and that's where the name comes from. Yeah.
It's what you call synergy.
Right.
In this world, there are things called energy. There are things called synergy.
Right.
When you have two energies come together, they create a greater force than their individual merits would have surmised. And what you end up with is Zen.
And Monk.
Wow. Okay. It sounds very, very spiritual. That's why I ask. We have Zen and we have Monk. Right?
We wish those to take the path that see the path before them.
Interesting. Okay. So what's the inspiration, if you don't mind me asking? I know you said Zen and Monk, but what's the actual inspiration?
Dope beats and cold raps.
Yeah, it's just a showcase of what Zen has to offer and what Monk has to offer, and coming together of those two forces makes this album. We could have come up with some sort of clever name for the tape, but at the end of the day, it really was just a
Just felt right.
display of
Yeah.
our qualities. You know what I mean? So
Right, and it's great. Okay, that's good. So I want to ask, what is the is there a theme in the album? Did you guys agree on the theme, or okay?
Actually,
let
can I take
us.
this one?
yeah,
Because this is interesting. We came together just randomly,
Yeah,
semi-randomly. I think everything is ordained by God.
so we run with it.
But
It's interesting.
you know, it's not really random. But regardless, universe, God brought us together, and I feel like I was at a point where I needed to have a creative outlet, and this was at a point where he had just literally lost gigabytes of data regarding music that he had created, and this is just like a point where both of us maybe needed a bit of synergy, and it just
Again, yes.
happened at the right time, and I think you were there, to be honest.
Yes.
It was at one of those food and
Open
both
mics, yeah.
open mics or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's what's behind the album, is just being able to collaborate and make different sounds. Like, the theme is the fact that we did it and we put it out. Like, it's not like some people would say, oh, this is not the best there, this is not the best there. I feel like we made album of the year, to be fair. That's just me, but I'm not necessarily coming at it from an unbiased perspective either. Like, I took a lot of time writing a lot of stuff and expressing a lot of feelings.
I mean, look, it's from when certain people have already called it the album of the year, not us. You know, then
Ooh.
that's what it's about. It's not, you know, it's about how do other people take the album in. And I think if you're a lover of the genre hip hop, then this is definitely an album for
It's
you.
bombastic, but it's also introspective.
Yeah.
It's spiritual, as you say, but it's also political. It's realistic, but it also is a bit brash, and sometimes it's just some areas crass on the edges. I feel like what I'm trying to capture is something that is expansive and not reductive, because I feel like life, when you try and define it, you start fucking things up. Sorry.
That's true.
Oops.
It's
I don't
okay.
you gotta bleep that out. I'm a pastor. I think that's part of the
Long
joke
as it's
too.
Zen.
Like, honestly, it's the Zen that makes the thing come together, because for me, pastor is a part of the Western upbringing that I have, and Zen is a part of that maybe untouched spirituality of Eastern traditions, and I want to somehow find a way to fuse the two, and I feel like there is a way, and honestly, I'm a seeker. And I know that kind of sounds like blasphemy to some people who are Christian, but for me, I feel like Christ is the way, but I'm also a listener and a hearer. And I understand that things aren't as black and white as you want them to seem. So
It's
I
actually
try to bring that through in
interesting.
music, and sometimes it's a little bit edgy.
It's actually quite interesting because there's a lot of spiritual references, Christianity, and in your lyrics. So it kind of makes you think. It makes myself think because I've come across Christian references as well as like spiritual side of things, and it makes me think, okay, is he Christian? Is he on the path to conforming to mainly spirituality? It kind of makes me, and I guess other people also think a bit further about your lyrics and all of that. So that was the reason why I asked, so thank you. So my next question is, how many tracks is there in the album?
10.
Whoa, that's rich.
10 tracks.
Any
Yeah,
particular reason, or you just...
Honestly, we had
Could have been
we had a
11.
lot.
Could have been 12.
Could have been 13. Could have
Enough to be
been
10.
at the end of the day, we were on a creative spree at a point in time, and we just wanted to collect those things together under one banner, put it out for the world to see. Like, it wasn't like sometimes people think there has to be some grand strategy or vision or something.
Yeah, no.
Sometimes it's just two people trying to make something cool, and dope, and make life worth living. And that's
And you
what
guys-
creation is.
Amazing, honestly. And I have a question for Monk. There's a track there called Force Feed, and I've not listened to the entire album yet, but I've listened up to that point, and I'm amazed by the instrumental. Can you tell me or tell everybody that's gonna get to watch this what inspired you? What was you thinking at the time that you kind of like made that beat? What kind of situation were you in?
It was around the time that the entire song was made. It wasn't long before you laid vocals on it that made the track. But yeah, it's just got that very classic boom bap approach to that particular track. Like, where you just, you start with I think it's a 90 BPM or I think so. And just finding a dope record and just flipping it, and that's what you get.
I feel like it's one of the things when you're a monk, you usually, and this is part of why I feel like the name works.
Spontaneous.
Spontaneous
doing
one,
this
yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
It's
that's
in the
it.
name,
That's what I'm
isn't it?
saying. There
Like
is
trying to explain it afterward, like you
Yeah,
try
there-
to find the words, but at the same
there
time,
is,
there's a
like you said, there isn't per se a grand, like, brilliant idea behind things. Sometimes it's just, this is what we do. We make music. That's what we do. So
why not make it?
Yes. So
Instead of why not make it?
and when you
And
stop,
shout out to Joel and Don Dave, hey, my guy, for the artwork.
yeah, the artwork is dope as well, and I think the
Honest.
artwork, it represents the album well.
Yeah.
It really is a Zen and Monk. It is a
Fusion.
fusion. So yeah, man, it's cool.
What's your favorite song in the album? I'll start with Pastor Zen.
I'm just gonna go Tabula Rasa. It's kind of crass. It's a little bit. I'm not gonna get goated because all of them are technically my favorite. But I'm just gonna say the first one because.
Like the one that feels like personal, like your soul is in it. Like
To be fair, it's just the energy. It's just the energy.
Yeah.
Like, the energy carries the rest of it. Like there's moments where my soul is more in it, and there's times where I'm being more authentic, and there's times where and you gotta kind of figure that out as a listener where I'm putting on the mask and where I'm going. So at the end of the day, part of this is figuring out who I am, and the art is part of where you have to figure out where you are. And it's a beautiful fusion, and for me, you just go into different areas where it's maybe taboo, but you do it under this almost authority of I'm going to discover what is true, and that's what art is supposed to be. You're supposed to be able to bump around in the dark and say, hey, what's up? And sometimes that comes off bombastic, but honestly, I like dialogue better than conflict. And so I'm somebody who likes to figure things out, get to solutions. Sometimes you need to shine a light on things in order to get to those true solutions. But I'm not saying I'm perfect either. So at the end of the day, it's almost like an ironic name. Pastor Zen is supposed to be like the last pastor. My first idea was Pastor Z or Pastor Zed, as y'all say, because I want to be the dude that's like, all right, we can all rule ourselves, like a self-rule type of era. But in order to get there, I feel like we have to at least adhere to some standards in ourselves that are true. And having too much out there makes it tough for us to all be under one, like union of direction and everything. So yeah, I think that there's some things to it, but at the end of the day, it's just trying to become who I am. Pastor Zen, ironic name because I am the worst sinner. And when I put on this mantle, it's almost like you have to aspire to something. And so right now I'm still maybe at the pits. And
what's your favorite song, Joe?
Tabula Rasa. What's your favorite song?
My favorite song? At the moment, it will change from week to week.
Yeah.
But at the moment, Levitate.
Levitate, yeah.
This time.
Okay. I wanted to ask, for the people who don't know you, who probably gonna see this for the first time, can you tell them a little tiny bit about yourself, your background, and what inspires you in general, and what made you become a rapper?
Well, my name is Pastor Zen. I am a transplant, but technically I'm a homie. I was born in London, but I moved to Chicago when I was a kid, lived there my whole life. Recently came back because I wanted to do something for myself, and so I started learning, absorbing everything around me, wanted to be creative. And it led me to this weird fusion of trying to find truth, but also trying to break out of the dogma of my earlier upbringing. But really what I root myself is on the Bible. I love Jesus and I love truth. But I know that there's more out there. At the same time, I try to keep it as trill as possible. Like I don't want to be boxed in as a quote unquote Christian rapper. But I'm still growing in myself. I think I do want to eventually stop cussing because I feel like I want kids to listen to me. But that's something that I'm gonna figure out down the road.
I like the cussing.
Thank you so much. And over here, for anyone seeing you for the first time, do you want to tell us who you are, your background, what you do, and where we can find both your music?
Yeah, sure. Zen Monk, aka The Prod. My real name is Pablo, and I'm from Argentina. My hobbies is drinking wine, and I make music sometimes.
That sounds amazing. Thank you so much for making this interview happen.
Okay, thank you so much, guys.
That's good.
Thank you so much for
floating on this one. But to get here, I trekked through depths and dusty roads, now just trying to find my home. The past is power packed when peeking back.